Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is straight out of Boston, aka the King of Boston. Today we're back for episode 14 of my Pacers MyLeague or NBA 2K15. Tyler Ennis goes down with a stress fracture in his foot, so he's out 4 to 6 weeks. So at that point, I knew I needed to make an upgrade to our bench. We were going to be taking a hit without Tyler Ennis. Now, not necessarily looking for a point guard because we still have Donald Sloan, but now I think I'm probably going to hold on to Donald Sloan. And I think I found the trade that, or I did find the trade that we wanted to do, and we're going to acquire Kelly Oubre from the New Orleans Pelicans, a small forward out of Kansas. He's 6'7", left-handed shot. He's a pretty good all-around offensive player, and you're going to see in this gameplay, he actually has a pretty fantastic game. It was only the second or third game as a member of the Pacers, but I was trying to eke out Amari Stoudemire from the Pelicans in that deal as well, because I thought he would be an upgrade over Anthony Tolliver, but I could not do so. We're going to have to settle. I think they threw in Patrick Young. We had to give up Jason Terry as well, but it was Reggie Bullock in that Hawks pick. And another reason why I liked getting Oubre was because giving up that Hawks pick, that's, like I said, probably going to be like something like a top 10 pick or something along those lines in this draft class. Well, Kelly Oubre, I think, was a top 10 pick from the Pelicans in this last draft. So getting him sort of makes up for the fact that maybe we're not going to be able to get that young, controllable, cheap asset that we could get through the draft, because Oubre's still going to be on 3 more years of a very cheap rookie contract. So anyway, we're taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. I think this is the team we actually took on in the first episode, or the second episode technically, back in season 1, but we're taking them on again. And this is a pretty familiar Bucks team. They still have guys like Jabari Parker, but they have a couple new faces. Derek Favors comes off the bench at power forward. They also have Giannis Antetokounmpo off the bench, not starting. And I think they have like a new point guard and some other new faces. There's Trevor Booker. There's Giannis for 3. He will knock that one down. The Bucks are actually up. That was a fun on the line 3, so it's a 2. Bucks are up by 4 early. Now it's 2. Jimmy Butler's got the ball on the fast break. He actually holds up here, and then check out Paul Millsap cutting, and you can see Giannis doesn't pick up Millsap. He goes to double Butler. This leaves Millsap wide open, but it was actually good recovery defense by Antetokounmpo as he ends up forcing the miss from Millsap. But still 16 to 14, Jabari with the ball, looking for a little screen from Derek Favors. He ends up getting double teamed here, but still puts it up and actually puts that one in. Jabari Parker had a pretty impressive, well, I'm not going to say it was too impressive. He had a couple nice shots, but he ended up having something like 30 points on 30 shots, so efficiently was not very great. And then this was pretty frustratingly stupid. This is one of my major complaints with 2K. It's so animation happy. I was trying to pass that to Butler, but he gets stuck in the animation where he's getting caught after getting jumped on by Ersan Ilyasova, and he just gets forced into that animation, can't get out of it, and they end up getting called for a travel. So that's one thing I've really noticed about 2K over the years, is it's so animation happy. It's not very free flowing. Like once you get into an animation like down low, it's immediately basically decided what's going to happen. The play's pretty predetermined, and that's a little frustrating. But here's Oubre, and this was another frustrating thing that happened in this game. So Oubre, he gets called out of bounds because he tried to shoot it behind the backboard, but here comes Derek Favors. He's going to do the exact same thing, except his ball warps through the backboard, and fortunately he missed. But there you go. Apparently balls can go through glass or plastic backboards now. Whatever. Whatever, 2K. But anyway, here's Oubre again. Kelly Oubre coming off the bench. He had a fantastic game today, as I said. I'm not sure if I'm going to change his number or anything. I actually kind of like him as 41. But anyway, he has a funky little mohawk going, and was overall really, really fun to use this game. He is like pretty much exactly what I wanted. I really knew that I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to basically take Reggie Bullock and Jason Terry's minutes and give them to someone else, because they were both getting like 10 minutes a game. And they both have their moments, but I think if we could have, basically filling that with Kelly Oubre, who can shoot the ball, he can take a guy off the dribble, he could do a lot of things on offense. He really upgrades our bench unit, which I think is struggling to score the ball with the guys that we had before. But now with Oubre, I think we're not going to struggle to score very much. And I think this will overall help boost our offense, which has basically been the big issue of our team so far. I mean, you saw it early in the episode. We're still holding teams to about 90 points a game, which is second in the NBA. But our offense is still sort of middle of the pack, 17, 18. And that's going to have to improve. I think only one team has made the conference, or 2 teams have made the conference finals in the last like 30 years. So that a top 10 offense and offensive efficiency. And one of them was the 2012 Celtics, and the other was like I want to say like the 95 Rockets or something. So, usually you have to be top 10 in offense and defense if you want to make a run at the conference finals. That's pretty much how it goes. And we need to improve that, and I think Kelly Oubre is going to help us improve that. You can see he gets a little up and under there. He's actually leading our team in scoring right now, as we've opened up a 9-point lead, and this was a really good stretch. So at 4:24, I believe it was Derek Favors hit a 2-pointer. That gave the Bucks 40 points. Since then, they have not scored the ball at all. We've held them 4 minutes scoreless here, and that's helped us go on a run. That's really been our defense, and that's been the mainstay of our team. That's our identity. We hold guys on defense, and that can open up offense, like here, a sick alley-oop from KJ McDaniels to Kelly Oubre. Now 55-40. Giannis Antetokounmpo with the ball here. He's being covered pretty tightly by Oubre, but gets around the screen, finds himself open, and actually knocks down the three. And that was the first bucket in over just about 4.5 minutes for the Milwaukee Bucks. They get to 43 points finally, but we had a nice late run there, open up a 12-point lead, and that is the score heading into the half, 55-43. And at the half, I do want to ask you guys one thing. If you are Kansas basketball fans or just fans of Kelly Oubre in general, let me know if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. I believe it is Kelly Oubre, but I could be wrong. Anyway, check out the bench leading the way, except for Butler, but Cauley-Stein has 6 rebounds, and Oubre leading the way with 17 points off of the bench. So very, very nice day from our bench so far, our second unit. But here's Emmanuel Mudiay coming to the hoop. He's actually going to dunk this on their rookie point guard. I don't recall his name. We'll see it in the box score later. But anyway, here's Jabari Parker taking Paul George off the dribble, and DeAndre Jordan swats that one into the 4th row. Take a look at this. Boom! DeAndre Jordan just rejects Jabari Parker. That was a pretty nice block. Now 59-43, the Bucks still have not scored since the start of the third quarter. We're 2 minutes in now, and Paul George to the hoop. That was a defensive mismatch that got caused in transition and ended up having Henson cover Paul George, which is a huge mismatch. And now 2.5 minutes into the third quarter, finally the Bucks get a field goal, but they basically scored 3 points in about 7 minutes of game time there. That was really incredible defense by our team, and I don't know, I'm just so impressed. I really thought that, even though the Bucks, I think they're like the 8th seed right now in the East in this MyLeague, and I think they might be in real life too, but even though they're not a team we're likely going to face in like a second round playoff series, still that is a pretty impressive defense by our team. And then here's a nice little freeze frame. Nate Walters basically has 2 ways to go, has to side on one of them, leaves Butler open in the corner for 3. He drifted towards Millsap instead, and Butler knocks down the corner 3. We're up by 18 right now. Late in the third quarter, Paul George with the rebound. He's going to take this one himself, going right by Giannis Antetokounmpo and right by their point guard, Rozier. And that's an easy 2-handed slam for Paul George. Now, Antetokounmpo with the ball right now. He's dribbling around, gives it to Ersan Ilyasova for 3. Ilyasova will actually knock that one down, but still a 17-point lead. Now a 14-point lead. Oubre out to Cauley-Stein. Cauley-Stein now going to give it back to Oubre from 3, and he knocks it down with the shot clock expiring. And that was the one thing I noticed about Kelly Oubre. He's probably our best 3-point shooter. At least this game he played like it, because shots like that where, it's kind of close and the guy's sort of coming down to you, it's a late contest. A lot of the time, guys like, KJ McDaniels or Jason Terry or Reggie Bullock, they're not making that shot. They'll make it, 2 out of 10 times. Paul George can maybe make that shot. Jimmy Butler, maybe if he's, having a good day, can make that shot. But other than that, I think only Kelly Oubre and Paul George are the only 2 guys who can hit that kind of 3-pointer on our team. And that was something we really lacked early on in the season, was 3-point shooting. So I think Oubre is going to really help that out. And we can run units with him. If we're trying to go really small and try to get a lot of 3-point shooting out on the floor, we can put Oubre at the 2 or the 3 and put George at the 4, take Millsap off, or even run Millsap at the 5 if we don't think we need the defense with DeAndre out there, or Cauley-Stein for that matter. But 88-69 now here midway through the fourth quarter. Donald Sloan with the rim, and here's Sloan getting minutes, and this is pretty much, I still like Donald Sloan. That's exactly what I want out of my backup point guard, pushing the tempo, running the floor, and hitting, better offensive players like Paul Millsap. And I think Sloan ended up with 5 or 6 assists and a few rebounds as well, so he really actually had a pretty good day. And I don't think I'm going to miss Tyler Ennis that much with Donald Sloan. We'll see. I know Ennis is a much better offensive threat, but I think Sloan does some of the little things that I want out of a backup point guard better than Ennis. And maybe that's a minutes battle as we head towards the end of the season. But I did show you guys at the beginning. There's Oubre again hitting the moving 3-pointer. But I showed you guys at the beginning of the episode, one of the early screens, what our rotation was. And I've basically gotten it down to a 10-man rotation. Our starting 5, and then our next 5, our bench unit, which is, for this game, it was Sloan, although that'd usually be Ennis, then McDaniels, Oubre, Tolliver, and Cauley-Stein. They're each playing anywhere between 10 and 18 minutes or so. I think they're all getting at least like 12 or 13 minutes, but anyway, we'll see how that shakes out. I could totally see like Tolliver or Cauley-Stein, maybe one of those guys fading out of the rotation as we edge toward the playoffs. And maybe, I don't know. I've been pretty impressed. I've been pretty impressed with our wing play all around. Sloan, Ennis, McDaniels, all those guys. So I think that's probably, we're going to have a 9 or 10 man rotation probably as we enter the playoffs. And that's maybe a little big. I think, usually, ideally, you want 8 or 9 guys. You don't want too many guys. Can't have too many guys when it gets to a playoff series like that. But anyway, here's the box score. Kelly Oubre, 33 points on 19 shots. He had 5 threes. George had 23 himself. Butler at 18, and you can see the rest of the scoring in there. You can see Donald Sloan with 6 assists. Jabari 30 points on 32 shots. Not a very efficient day from him, but he did put up 30, and he was actually even. He was the only guy who was even on this Bucks team. Everyone was a minus, I believe. And you can see their point guard there, Rozier. But anyway, that is going to do it. There were a couple plus guys on the bottom of the Bucks box score too. I did not think about that. But anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy, and so I'm out. Peace.